Good morning, everybody. Michael the Maven. As we come to the end of 2019, I want to post my thoughts and opinions on the best cameras that came out in the year 2019. Runner-up for APS-C mirrorless camera of the year, I would have to give it to the Fuji X-T30. I did an epic shootout between it and the A6400, and it performed extremely well. And I'm being very nitpicky in terms of why I'm not awarding that the camera of the year. Number one, APS-C camera of the year, I'm giving it to the Sony A6400. We could also technically include the A6100 and the A6600, the three variants of pretty much the same system. I was very impressed with the focusing systems over the years. Sony has continued to improve them. They're making them better and better. It has a front-facing monitor for vlogging. Even though it's right behind that hot shoe mount, it was, in my opinion, the best mirrorless camera APS-C format that came out in 2019. If we're talking about DSLRs, APS-C, I have to give it to the Canon 90D. I was as pleasantly surprised as anybody, and there are some problems with the 90D, but when we're talking about performance capabilities of a DSLR with an APS-C sensor, by far the best camera that came out in 2019. I am particularly impressed with the combination of many features, the ergonomics. It'll shoot at 10 frames per second. The sensor is outstanding. Canon has finally updated a very old sensor, and it is performing on a very high level. Full frame mirrorless cameras of the year, I broke it up into two different categories, one for stills and one for video. When we're talking about still photography, I think we have to give it to the Sony a7R Mark IV, 60 megapixels of resolution. There's a multi-shot mode that will put you well over 200 megapixels. I was kind of hard on it because of the amount of data that these images would produce, and it might slow down your workflow, but all in all, Sony has put together a fantastic camera. They've improved many of the things that I've been complaining about. And in terms of full frame photography cameras, it's by far, in my opinion, the best for stills. Which brings us to the video full frame camera of the year. We have to give it to the S1H, designed specifically for video shooting by Panasonic. If you're unfamiliar with the specs on this, it's one of the only stills as well as a video camera that Netflix has approved to be used in production work. That's a very high standard in terms of the color grading, in terms of the performance. I went out and bought an S1R and shot with it for it was about a month, and the monitor was incredible. I was very, very happy with it. It is a great system. If Panasonic continues what they've done in the GH4 and GH5, I'm sure we can all expect that we're going to see some outstanding cameras for video production coming from Panasonic. Hopefully they'll get some more lenses as well. When we're talking about the overall photography camera of the year, we have to give it to, any guesses? The Fuji medium format GFX 100. I have a friend here on Maui who has it. He has shared his thoughts with me. I've seen the images. It's a $10,000 camera, but I am so impressed with the detail that he's getting out of those 100 megapixels. It's absolutely astonishing. If you want to check his gallery out, I'll put that link in the description. Another great full frame camera that came out in 2019 was Canon's RP, the mirrorless camera, priced at about $1,200. The sensor wasn't great, but with the firmware updates that we've seen with eye detection, it is a great portrait camera because it has, in my opinion, good color with Canon's color science, but it also opened the door to full-frame mirrorless Canon cameras, and that's going to be easy for a lot of DSLR shooters to jump over. And there are some other problems with the RP, but its strengths are for portrait shooting. So if I was going to pick a runner-up for stills only, I would pick the Canon RP. I think the most interesting lenses that came out in 2019 are Sony's 200 to 600 zoom, an affordable zoom that really allows Sony sports and wildlife shooters to get that extra reach. Also impressed with Sony's 16 to 55 2.8 APS-C. It's a smaller compact lens that will allow APS shooters to get that 2.8 they typically want without needing to upgrade their lenses. In any event, those are my picks for 2019 camera awards. If you guys are struggling to learn your camera, check out one of my camera training videos. I'm looking forward to a fantastic 2020. I have lots of great things coming. Don't party too hard on New Year's. Be safe, be careful, and I'll see you in the new year.